is Miss Andrea with another homeschool vlog. I have my tea, you have questions, so let's go. What kind of help or assistance does the Georgia Education Department within the homeschooling services section provide for homeschooling families? Are they of any help? So, my state is Georgia, but this is going to apply to most states. What we have is originally our homeschooling was it was administered by the state, but it was controlled by the counties. And about 9 years ago, yeah, they pushed it to the state. They're like, the state can handle it. And so our state has an education department um, with an umbrella section over homeschooling. And so, and most states do, whether it's county-wide or at the state level. And so the general question is, what kind of assistance does my state's homeschool education department provide? And the answer is none. None. They're there to track your homeschooling. They let you know what the laws are, and they let you know. No, they let you know what the laws are, and they accept your paperwork every year when you report that you're homeschooling, and they file that, so that's on file. And that's pretty much it, but there are little services. For example, when your child goes to graduate and they get ready to go to college, you have reported to them for all these years that you've been homeschooling, so they will fill out a form to send to the colleges that says, yes, this person is a registered homeschooler. So that's a service they provide to let your college your child is applying to know that your child is in fact a registered homeschooler. And that's important because if your child is not a registered homeschooler, then who's to say that you were actually homeschooling according to law, right? So they do that. For a while, after my state switched to this from county to state level, they also provided working papers and driver's license information. I'm pretty sure they've pushed that back to the state level. But if you need, they've pushed that back to the county level. If you need help with working papers or driver's ed stuff, you can still contact them and ask them what you're supposed to be doing. Your state homeschooling umbrella will let you know what you need to do to get your child a working paper or to get your child driver's ed. And in my state, it's important to have their help with driver's ed because our state has made sure that if you're not in school, you can't drive under the age 18. So you can get your permit at 15 and drive at 16 if you are in school. If you are a homeschooler, that counts. But once again, just like the state has to report to the colleges and say, this is a registered homeschooler by law, the state has to do the same thing for driver's ed. So basically, they collect your information that says that you've reported in as a homeschooler, and then they disseminate that information to whoever needs it. Now, your local counties will also send you letters that says if your child needs special ed services, that they can provide that for you. But the state is not there to provide any services to homeschooling families. That's on a school by school, county by county level based on what their funding is. And honestly, the shortfall they have budget wise that they want to fill by getting homeschoolers to join and also use the services. Basically, once you decide to homeschool, you've decided that you don't need the state's help. So you can't really ask for services. Like, I'm homeschooling, I don't want you, give me services. It just doesn't work that way. But since our law says that you have to report that you homeschool, they have to report back and say that you've reported that you homeschool. Let's see if I'm missing anything. Yeah, once you file the DOI, which is the statement that says you're going to homeschool, they're done. If you need help, join homeschool associations. A lot of people like HSLDA. If you looked at my videos, you'll see that I don't. My state also has GHEA, which is Georgia Homeschool Association. If you need help with something, just put out a blast. You have to join these homeschool message boards, and you have to put out a blast to them when you need something. And sure as rain, somebody will help you find that information. This question asks, how soon after moving to Georgia do we have to fill out homeschool paperwork? In my state, and I think in every state, you have 30 days upon beginning homeschooling or upon changing states to fill out homeschool paperwork. If you don't do it at that point, you are considered truant. If you're not leaving a public school, no truant officer is going to show up, but you're going to get to a point in time when you need that state to report to whomever, whether it be them graduating and going to college, or whether it be working papers or whatever. If they can't report back that you've been consistently homeschooling, you may get turned down for those things because you haven't been legally homeschooling. To legally homeschool, you have to report your homeschooling. So, like, don't break your neck to fill out your paperwork, but fill it out within 30 days. But honestly, it takes 5 minutes, so it's not a big deal. And so here's another reason why you need to make sure you filled out your paperwork. This parent says, I lost my DOI filed last year. Their copy of the paperwork that says that they're reporting to the state that they're homeschooling, and they don't have it, in their outgoing email. They don't have the physical paper. They can't find it. And the student is returning to public school because this is COVID homeschooling. And so what do? You contact the DOE and you say, can I get a copy of my intent to homeschool form for last year? And they send it back to you. This is another reason why it's so important to report to your state per law that you are homeschooling. And this is another question about the declaration of intent, the DOI that I keep talking about. And the question is, I'm switching from public school to Excelis Academy program. The Excelis people said that we don't have to submit anything to the state, but the state said they do. So I'm assuming that this Excelis program is an accredited private school. They might be a homeschool oversight program who is filing this information for you. When in doubt, fill it out. When in doubt, fill it out. Because if you decide you don't like Excelis and you need to pull your children out and homeschool them yourselves, you need to just go ahead and have on file that you are homeschooling. Let's see if I'm missing anything here. Okay. My research says that Excelis is not a private school, so I don't know why or who told them that they don't need to fill out the DOI. So they should absolutely fill it out. And this is going to vary from state to state, whether they're a private school, whether they're not in a private school. Um, and if someone's like, if a program has, what is the word I'm looking for? If they've just started the accreditation process, fill out your DOI anyway. Don't assume that they're going to get it. Don't assume that they're going to keep it. Yeah. So when in doubt, when it comes to your DOI, fill it out. Absolutely.